What's poppin' everybody, Jay here. I had every intention of doing another Pokemon Theta Emerald Challenge video this week, but my game crashed at the same exact spot 3 different times. So instead I'm gonna put that video on the back burner and do another challenge that might not crash my entire PC. This week, I'm going to see if I can beat Pokemon White with only Gen 1 clones. Unova's first game was interesting in the fact that they did not allow any old Pokemon to be available until the post-game, having an entire Pokedex of 150 new Pokemon not seen before. The only problem is, some of these Pokemon were a bit unoriginal and are considered clones of Pokemon from the Kanto region. Luckily, there are enough of these clones in order to make a full team with just these kinds of Pokemon. A few ground rules. First, I can only use Pokemon I consider to be clones of Gen 1 Pokemon, including HM Mules. I don't think there are any necessary HM moves, so this won't be too big of an issue. Second, no items in battle, but I can use held items if I so please. I will also be using the universal Pokemon Randomizer again to cancel impossible EVOs, such as trait evolutions, so every Pokemon I get reaches its full potential as soon as possible. I'm writing the script as I go along so I don't spoil myself. I think I'm going to have some trouble with the first gym purely because of the coverage of Pokemon I can get in the early game, but the rest is a toss-up because I'm not sure what kind of coverage moves will be available. Now with those out of the way, let's hop into this. It doesn't really matter who my starter is, because I'm immediately going to box it as soon as I catch my real starter, Patrat. I name him Raticate, after who he's based on, and continue through the rest of the game. Training him is going to be a pain because he has such low base stats, but I'll grind on anyways. The first few battles with N, Bianca, and Charon are all walks in the park because I have setup moves, and the first gym isn't much different. After setting up a few Leers, Lillipup goes down with 2 tackles, and Pansage gets taken out with the same deal. I continue on to the next route but get blocked off because of a double battle. Instead of letting me do the battle with one Pokemon or letting me skip the battle, the game won't let me continue without having a team of at least 2, so I go out and catch a Pidove just so I can get through it. Another uneventful Sharon battle leads us to a cave that allows us to find a Woobat, which will be good for flying and psychic type moves, and a Roggenrola. Roggenrola is one of the reasons we went through the universal randomizer, as we'll be able to get his final evolution and final boosted stats without having to trade. We continue on to Nacrane City, and outside Pinwheel Forest we find a Timber, who will also be helpful thanks to the trade evolution fix. He will also be super helpful for this next gym that specializes in normal type Pokemon. Just to be safe, I also catch an Audino to throw in the box. Before we can go to the gym, we have a battle with N. He starts with Pidove as I go for Roggenrola, and one Rock Blast takes it out. Timpole is out next, so I swap into Timber and go for a workup to boost my attack. He goes for a Supersonic to confuse me, and I hit myself twice. After a few Bubble Beams, I get another workup in and take it down to half with a Rock Smash. I get taken down. I go out to Woobat and take it out in one Psychic. Out next is his own Timber, who gets taken out in one last Gust to win the fight. I'm really gonna have some trouble with any water types, so I may have to get creative with what I count as a Gen 1 clone. Luckily, I think this is the easiest fight I've ever had against Lenora. Herdier goes out for my Timber, and I choose to set up a few workups to boost my attack. Unfortunately, I get taken out with a few takedowns, but not before getting a few Rock Smashes in to get him down to orange. I send out Roggenrola and take out Herdier in one Rock Blast, after he takes recoil damage from takedown. Watchog is out next, so I go for another Rock Blast to get him to orange, and after avoiding a Hypnosis, I land another Rock Blast to take it out and win the fight, getting the second badge without even bringing out my starter. Once in Pinwheel Forest, I catch a Suwaddle in order to have Leavanny later on to get Grass-type coverage. I don't know if everyone would count Suwaddle as a Butterfree replacement since it's not a butterfly, but I'm counting it for now since it's an early game bug Pokemon. Later on, I also catch a Venipede to get a Beedrill clone, since Scolipede is a bug poison type that can be caught in the same forest. Berg isn't too tough, as his Whirlipede gets taken out in one Rock Blast, Leavanny goes down in 2 Air Cutters, and Dwebble gets taken out with a few low kicks. After taking down Berg, I go to the Desert Resort to pick up our fossil. Though Archon would normally be my better pick for the coverage he gets, in order to stick to the clone motif, I choose Tortuga, since the Water-Rock dual typing is what more closely resembles Omastar and Kabutops, the fossil Pokemon from Kanto. Time for another end fight. I start with my new Boldore for Sandile, exchanging a few Smackdowns and Sand Tombs to take it out. Scraggy comes in, so I switch to Woobat to take it out in 2 Air Cutters, all while breaking through Confusion from Swagger. Darumaka is next, so I switch back into Boldore to take him out in 1 Smackdown. Finally is Sigilith, so I stay in and go for Power Gem, but that only does less than half. Boldore gets taken out with Psybeam. I swap back out to Woobat to get in some assurances, but I get taken out to one critical gust. The new Swadloon also gets taken out in one hit. Watchog is out next and finally takes out the Sigilif in one bite to finish the match. I think I'm a bit underleveled, but I have a good feeling about Alessa with Boldor, so I'll try anyways. Our first bout doesn't go so well, as I get completely swept by her classic Volt Switch routine. Boldor gets a few good hits in, but I'm just not high enough a level to take her out. It also doesn't help that the rest of my Pokemon aren't that high a level either. I choose to grind up a few levels on the team before going back in. While grinding, I also catch an Emolga of my own. Not because I think I'll need it or use it, but mainly because I'd like to have the Pikachu clone in my possession for this game. When going in for the rematch, I think I ran into a bit of RNG luck. I managed to take out the first Emolga in one Power Gem, and once the next Emolga switched out from Volt Switch, I hit Zebstrika for decent damage. Another Power Gem takes it to half, and he keeps going for Quick Attack, not doing that much damage to me. I go for Smackdown and end up taking him out without even getting to red health. The last Emolga comes out and tries to get another Volt Switch in, but he gets taken out in one last Power Gem to end the fight and get us the badge. We have another uneventful fight with Sharon. I'm going to keep recording these battles for my own sake, but since they're usually pretty easy, from now on I'll just skip talking about these unless they really give me trouble. One trip through the icebox later, and we get into our fight with Clay, gym number 5. My new Girder comes out for Krokorok. Krokorok goes for Swagger to raise my attack and confuse me, but I break through the confusion to take him out in one Wake-Up Slap. Palpitoad is out next and gets taken out in one more Wake-Up Slap. Finally is Excadrill, but he gets taken out in one Rock Smash. I like when these battles end up being easy. I continue on to the journey and catch a Clink in the next cave, giving us our clone of Magnezone without the stab electric type I thought he had. Steel is a great defensive type, but I would have rather he had the dual electric steel type for the coverage and help with water types we desperately need. I also ran into the battle with N without knowing I hadn't healed, so I managed to take out his whole team with only Boldor and Girder. I'm glad I picked these guys up. They'll probably save my ass a few more times throughout this run with their overpowered fighting and rock-type moves. Boldor once again manages to completely sweep through a team by taking out Skyla's entire flying-type gym team without getting down to the red health. This nets us just enough experience for it to evolve into Gigalith. Our battle with Bryson the Iceman is also non-existent. Conch Elder takes out Vanillish, Beartic, and Cryogonal in 2 hits each, and we aren't even that high a level compared to his Pokemon. Ice-type is just a really weak defensive typing, I guess. Getting really nervous at how easy this middle part of the game is. With my luck, I'm gonna have some real trouble at the end. After his gym fight, we go through all the garbage weak enemies in Dragon Spiral Tower, where N awakens the box legendary of the game, and Desert Resort, where Ghetsis talks about his master plan for world domination. We then fly over to Nacrene City to advance the plot a bit more. I always kind of hated these little deterrents of gameplay because it's not like we have to do anything for this, we just kind of show up and story beats happen around us. Like, I get that this is supposed to be one of the best games in the franchise regarding plot, but is it really a good plot, or is it just one of the first games to have a story that isn't solely, bad guys bad, we fight bad guys? One existential crisis later, I go to Driftvale City to the secret cave to catch Axew, our pseudo-legendary that will replace Dragonite. I couldn't decide between Axew or Dino, but Axew has a lower evolution level and is available earlier in the game, so I chose him. I'm not sure I'll use him, but I'd rather have him than not need him. I also go north of Opaloid City to catch a Bouffalant, who will be our normal type powerhouse once we get to the Elite Four and End battles. Hopefully I can find some useful TM moves for him to learn. Gym Leader Iris gives us trouble with her strong dragon types, but I try to manage. I open with Caracosta in order to land a Blizzard and take out the first Fracture. Out next is Drudagon, who manages to survive a Blizzard and land a Revenge that takes us to just above half. Iris heals, allowing us to go for a pretty weak Aqua Jet. Another critical Blizzard is just enough to take it out, but I don't think we're fast enough to outspeed and take out Haxorus. We hit one more Blizzard, which just barely doesn't kill, and a Dragon Tail switches us out to Clang. She heals again as we go for a Gear Shift, which doesn't do much damage. We go for a few Mirror Shots to try to take it out, but it only goes little by little. We get hit with a not very effective Slash and take it out with one more Gear Shift, winning us the final badge before the Elite Four. I try to go right to the Elite Four, but with the team I have right now, I'm just not strong enough. I get my team building hat on and try to figure out the best arrangement that can help me with coverage and defensive types. The problem is that I also have to now train some Pokemon that might be in the box, so this is probably going to take some time to figure out. After grinding all my chosen Pokemon and checking stats and movesets, I finally decided on a team of Bouffalant, Swoobat, Leavanny, Conkeldurr, Caracosta, and Haxorus. Grinding Haxorus and Leavanny to a usable level was a bit tedious, but I think it's worth it to counter Ghetsis' Hydreigon and Seismitoad respectively. I decide to go for Marshall first in order to get the hardest one over with. I start with Swoobat to counter Ernie, and 1 Acrobatics only does half. Stone Edge almost takes me out, but 1 more Acrobatics is enough to finish it off. Bird is out next, and Psychic takes it to the red, but Karate Chop takes us out. I switch to Leavanny and hope to get a Leaf Blade in, but after Marshall goes for a full restore, it only does half. Stone Edge takes us to the orange, and another Leaf Blade takes it out. Conkeldurr is next, and the Leaf Blade barely does a quarter before we get taken out. I send in Caracosta next and go for a Surf, which ends up taking it to the red. The Quick Claw activates in order for us to get another hit in, but a full restore takes Conkeldurr back to full health. 2 more Surfs luckily take it out. Finally, Mienshao is out next and takes us out in 1 jump kick. He does the same thing to Bouffalant and my own Conkeldurr, but he gets in a good Stone Edge or 2 before taking us out. I figure the fight is over, but send out Fracture just for kicks, but 1 Dragon Claw finishes the fight and wins the match, finally evolving Fracture into Haxorus. Next I go for Grimsley, since he's usually the easiest. Scrafty is out for Swoobat, and Acrobatics takes it down to orange. We miss the next one and get taken to 12 HP with a crunch, but 1 more Acrobatics takes it out. Out next is Crocodile, so I go to Caracosta in hopes to get a good water move off. Surf ends up doing just not enough, and he goes for a full restore. We exchange another Surf and full restore, and the next Surf does the same, but we get taken out in an Earthquake. I go up to Conkeldurr and go for a quad effective Wake Up Slap in order to take it out. Lightbard is out next and goes for a Fake Out, followed by Aerial Ace. 1 Wake Up Slap takes it out. Our last enemy is Bisharp, who goes down in 1 Hammer Arm, but not without nearly taking us out with another Aerial Ace of his own. We end up winning the fight regardless. Next is Caitlyn, and with her Psychic-type Pokemon with super coverage moves on her whole team, we might have a bit of trouble. Out first is her tanky Reuniclus, so I go for Leavanny. I go for an X-Scissor to take it out in 1 hit. Out next is Sigilif, so I trade into Swoobat and go immediately for Shadow Ball to take it down to half. Ice Beam takes us down to 8 HP, but we take it out in 1 more Shadow Ball. I stay in for Gothitelle and manage to get 1 more Shadow Ball in before going down. I go into Caracosta hoping a Crunch can help me avoid that Thunderbolt. I take a hit and get paralyzed, but not taken out. She goes for a full restore and 1 Crunch takes her back to orange. On the next turn, my Quick Claw activates and I take it out. Musharna is her final Pokemon, so I stay in, hoping to get another Crunch in. I get taken down with 1 Psychic. I go up to Bouffalant and go for Mega Horn, and the Bug-type move takes it down to half. She sets up a Reflect, so now my Mega Horns are doing half as much damage. She goes for another full restore, and 1 critical Mega Horn takes it out, winning us the fight. Chantel is last, and I'm most worried about her Ghost team. With Chandelure's Unreal Speed, I don't think I'll be able to get the upper hand unless I get some good luck with the Quick Claw. Cofagrigus is out first, and I go for my Caracosta. I go for Crunch to take it down in 1 hit. I adopt the Mummy ability, but I don't think it's going to affect the fight much. I go up to Leavanny next for Jellicent, and I go for Swords Dance to up my attack. Leaf Blade is now enough to take it out in 1 hit. I went back out to Caracosta for Chandelure. Surf only takes it down to orange, but I almost get taken out by a Shadow Ball. The second Shadow Ball takes me out. I send out Swoobat in hopes to outspeed, luckily finishing off the Chandelure with a Shadow Ball. Finally is Golurk, so I stay in and get taken out in 1 Shadow Punch. I send out Leavanny again to go for Leaf Blade to take it out in 1 final hit, winning the fight and beating the entire Elite Four. Leavanny pulled way more weight than I was expecting he would, so that's super interesting to think about. Once again, I have to deal with the inhuman, nearly godlike powers of N being able to summon an entire castle at the blink of an eye, which still hasn't been properly explained in any source of media that I can find. I'm led up to the box legendary Zekrom after that. Fortunately, I have to catch him, but since I have a full party, I can send him straight to the box and not have to worry about wasting any turns with him. The fight with N gives us a bit of trouble at first, but the second time around, I find a good strategy. He starts with his legendary Reshiram, and I go for Haxorus. With the Dragon Fang equipped, I go for a boosted Dragon Claw to take him down to the red. He uses his only full restore for the fight, so I boost with a Dragon Dance. 1 Dragon Claw takes it out. Out next is Vanillix, so I switch to Conkeldurr and take it out in 1 Hammer Arm. I also take out Klinklang and Zoroark in one hammer arm each, taking out half of his team in only 3 moves. Next out is Caracosta, who gets taken out in one Leaf Blade from Leavanny. Sturdy activates on Caracosta, but he gets finished off by the Hail. One Surf is almost enough to take out his final Archeops, but because he missed his Stone Edge, I'm able to get one more Surf in to win the match. If you've ever played Pokemon Black and White, or you saw my last Pokemon White video, you know why this next fight can be so frustrating. Ghetsis' Cofagrigus uses cheap stall tactics. Some of his Pokemon have one weakness or fewer, and every Pokemon has some kind of coverage move that can fight any Pokemon possible. On my 3rd attempt, I got a good run. I equip a Peach Berry on Swoobat and start with him. Cofagrigus comes out and immediately goes for a Toxic, and I get healed and go for a Calm Mind to up my special attack. I go for a second Calm Mind expecting Protect, but I just get another Toxic. One Shadow Ball takes it to red, and 2 more take it out. Because of the poison, Swoobat is taken out at the end. I go for Conkeldurr and bulk up against Bouffalant. Hammer Arm is enough to take it out in one hit. I choose to stay in for Hydreigon, and after tanking a Dragon Pulse with 19 HP left, take it out in one Hammer Arm. Electros, the Pokemon with no weaknesses, is out next and takes out Conkeldurr in one hit. I go for Bouffalant and Head Charge takes it down to orange. He goes for a Wild Charge to take me down to red, and Strength takes it out. Seismitoad is out next, so I go for Leavanny and take it out in one Leaf Blade. Finally, Bisharp is the only one standing in our way. I stay in and go for an X-Scissor, only doing about a quarter. We get taken out in one hit. I send out Haxorus next and set out with a Dragon Dance, and Night Slash isn't very effective. I go for a Dragon Claw and it lives on a Sliver, but I get cocky and go for a Dragon Dance at the end and get taken out. Caracosta is out next, and one Surf is enough to take it out and finish the battle, winning us the respect of our teammates, but also finishing the challenge, all without getting our full team to level 50. This was a fun challenge with some unexpected roadblocks. All around, I think the middle part was really easy, but the Elite Four gave us some unexpected problems with how much coverage is available. Leavanny and Bouffalant also carried much more weight than I thought they would, so that was surprising. Next, I'm going to try to do a challenge for Pokemon White 2, since it's been a while since I've played that game. I'm going to need to think of a challenge to do with that game though, since it's not really one that I'm as familiar with. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else you'd like to see for Pokemon challenges. I'm always interested in some different points of view. Other than that, thanks for sticking around on this challenge, and I'll see you on the next one.